Good morning, everybody. It's your boy Arrow Sensei here, wanting to wish everyone a good morning and or good evening. Now, what we're going to go over today was going to be one video, but after seeing how long it was going to be, I decided to break it up into 3 easy to watch videos for your viewing pleasure. Now, disclaimer, although the category of anime was originally intended with a certain audience in mind, it is not the defining factor on if you should watch an anime or not. Think of it as a more of an informational guideline if you were aiming to find shows or movies geared towards what you wanted to watch. Different categories of anime. In this video, we will be going over the different category types of anime, which is not to be confused with the genre used to define what you will find in that anime title. If you think of it as a car analogy, the category of anime is like a type of vehicle. You have your supercars, your trucks, your EVs, your commuter cars, and vans, and so on and so forth. Each one of these vehicle types are geared towards a specific buyer. So think of your category of anime in the same way in that they're geared towards a specific audience. And the genres would be the different features found in that anime title, just like the features found in the type of vehicle you chose. So when searching for an anime to watch, you might typically say Josei anime, which would be the category with the genre or features of ichi, yaoi, and mecha, which you would like to see in that particular anime. So what do all these different categories and genres mean? Well, I'm going to explain that in this video, and after watching all 3 parts, hopefully you'll have a better understanding and be able to narrow down your search parameters when looking for your next big binge. Shonen. Although Shonen category used to represent a more targeted audience towards young teen boys, in the Western culture, with the growing popularity and acceptance of anime, the lines are more blurred than they used to be as far as placing this type of anime to a specific gender or age bracket, mainly because of the very vague elements found within and the typical acceptance and forward thinking that girls, just like boys, enjoy the same things such as action, adventure, good storytelling, and fight scenes just the same. If you're new to anime, trying to get into anime, or only seen a few shows, then this is probably where it came from. Some of the most popular anime out there right now and in the past came from this category. The shonen category can cover action, adventure, fighting, light fan service, horror, and just a broad range of elements in it. It will usually have a male protagonist acting as the hero of their story or just as a main character in the show, although a strong and just as important female co-main character is quickly rising and becoming just as mainstream in this category. The most popular titles you'll find here are Naruto and Bleach, Jujutsu Kaisen, My Hero Academia, Fairy Tail, 7 Deadly Sins, AOT, or Attack on Titan, Code Geass, Black Clover, Hunter x Hunter, Full Metal, Yu Yu Hakusho, Demon Slayer, Death Note, JoJo's Bizarre Adventures, Bakuman, and the list just goes on and on and on, since it covers such a broad audience now. And that's usually where the most popular shows come out of. Shouju. Think of shouju as the complete opposite of shonen, just without as much of the blurry lines within it. Though targeted towards a more young teen girl audience, it can still be enjoyed by a male audience just the same, and is quickly becoming just as blurred in the Western world as far as a targeted demographic is concerned. Shows found in this category is usually represented by either a mix of a strong female protagonist and a male protagonist, and although fighting and adventure found in the shonen category might not be the primary premise of these type of shows, you could still find a good abundance of it within. The shouju type of titles usually, though, has a bigger emphasis on storytelling to replace the constant use of fighting and action found in your shonen category, typically exploring relationships, romance, drama, heartbreak, real life problems, and the psychological trauma associated with them. If an anime that will touch your heart and bring them feelings out, then this is where you will usually start at for my beginners. Warning though, some of these shows might require a box of Kleenexes to watch. Some great titles you'll find in this category are going to be Anohana, Waiting in the Summer, Your Lie in April, Yana the Dawn, Orange, Bloom Into You, Angel Beats, Vampire Diaries, From Up on Poppy Hill, My Love Story, From Me to You, The Light of Firefly Forest, and Clanad. Seinen. Think of the seinen category as a carbon copy of the shonen category we previously covered, but with everything turned up to a more mature and realistic nature. More clear-cut category among the last two that we just discussed, with a more defined audience geared towards actual men. This category of anime will typically feature a lot more action and violence, with the addition of showing it in a more graphic nature, with the addition of blood, gore, and dismemberment without much of your common censoring attached to it. The addition of fan service is also turned up more with the introduction of nudity, sexual scenes, and more adult-oriented content. Storyline and plot that's told will be more in-depth, that might be too complex or less interesting for a younger audience to understand or actually relate with, and when having relationships between the characters, they will usually have more in-depth building and foundations, along with conflict usually relating to the common problems of the adult life and dating than your typical shonen anime might show. Titles you will find in this category will include Parasite, Berserk, Psycho-Pass, Hellsing, Erase, Death Parade, The Fate series, Prison School, Tokyo Ghoul, Ajin, Akira, and Ghosts in the Shell. Josei. The same way seinen is more adult version of the shonen, think of josei as the more adult version of the shoujo category. This category has a specific audience with more of your adult females. They usually depict more of the complex nature of adult relationships while introducing real life aspects of those relationships, such as cheating, pregnancy, birth giving, drama, heartbreak, commitment, and the psychological damages associated with them, giving it the portrayal of a more realistic romance as opposed to your princess type stories of romance of everyone living happily ever after. It can also be associated with the psychological aspects in it with the mind of a woman when going through these situations in life, usually associated with a mix of a female protagonist or male protagonist depending on the context of the entire storyline. Some titles in this category include Showa, Genroku, Rakugo, Shinju, Shihayafuru, Nodami, Cantabile, Paradise Kiss, Hakuoki, Movies in the Series, and Carnival. Kodomomuki. This category is probably the easiest to identify. Target more towards children. This type of anime usually doesn't have any aspects of real life included in it. More often, it's an entertaining watch filled with teaching some of life's lessons in a way more fit for children to understand. The animation style is usually toned down a lot with less realistic features and more focus on keeping the attention of children with funny, simple to grab messages of the differences between being good and evil. Though some shows may have small occasions of violence or fighting, it's rare or toned down to a point where no real injuries or consequences occur. The most popular out right now include Pokemon, Digimon, Hamtaro, Little Lulu, just to name a few. Now, we have reached the end of part 1 of this 3-part video. Be sure to check back in later for part 2, in which we'll go over the different genres of anime you can find in the broad categorization of anime we just discussed. This is Arrow Sensei wishing you a great rest of your day or night, and be safe. Later.